Hello, everyone. This is your brother, Mad Black, the most dangerous, most toxic black male on the internet, and I am black up in your face again with some more pro-black commentary. And I gotta be dangerous. I gots to be toxic because we live in very dangerous, toxic times. There are some demonic forces out here at work, and you're gonna need someone like myself to push back against it, in the very least someone out there to inform you about some of the dangers that exist out there that you might not regularly hear in the mainstream media. So, what I'm going to be talking about today is this video that has surfaced of these two old white males, these two old white media moguls, Peter Nygaard and Stephen Powers. They're sitting at a dinner table with a whole entourage of black women. They look like a lot of black women from Africa, or they might just be African women who live in Europe. That's what I'm thinking it might be. But, these two white men are sitting at this table talking about, stem cell research and all this other stuff like that. And then they talk about how great black female genetics are and how important those genetics are. And then just right out of the blue, they start bidding for the black women's embryos. They want the black woman's eggs so that they can help themselves genetically. And it's a weird video. They almost kind of say it almost tongue in cheek, almost like they're half joking, but they're deadly serious in this video. Okay, they're being very serious when they ask for these eggs. And they're telling them what they would do and what they need those eggs for. So a lot of black folks don't realize we are in a full-fledged genetics war with these devils out here. That's what the whole reversal of Roe versus Wade was about for them. Okay, they were reversing it to save their own genetic. It's their own genetic survival they're worried about. Okay, they're not. It has nothing to do with women's rights, children's rights, none of that. All right. So, when you have these elites out here actually coming out and saying what they want with your genetics, you better take account of it. You better pay attention to it, because this is not a joke. And this is the only reason I'm really even doing this video, because originally I saw one of my friends and acquaintances posted this video on his social media, and I took a screen capture of it, and I reposted a screen capture on my YouTube and also on my Twitter. And for the most part, most people in my audience took it seriously, and they understand when I post stuff like this, I'm not being hyperbolic, I'm not being a conspiracy theorist, I'm being deadly serious about the nonsense that we're dealing with out here and the enemies that we're dealing with and how serious it is against black people. But there are some idiots out there who try to make it seem like I'm just making stuff up. Like they tried to make it seem like, oh, I posted a blurry screen cap, so that means it's not real. You guys will just believe anything. Like I'm just being a conspiracy theorist and just making stuff up. Let me tell you something. This is not Alex Jones. This is not nonsense. Okay? This is a video straight from the devil's mouth about what they want with your genetics. Okay? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play the video in full, and then I will come back and I will go over the audio with you folks and kind of give you some more insight as to what we're actually hearing and what we're seeing and what we're listening to. Okay? So let me play the video. I'll play it here for you folks. You guys can watch it for yourselves, and I'll post a link for it as well if you want to go find it somewhere and do a video on it yourself. And then I'll come right back and I'll go over the actual audio, and we'll talk about what these devils, these demons are talking about in the video. So let me play it right now.
Stem cell technology that Peter and I are investing in is called SCNT, which takes the egg of a young, perfect woman specimen, takes the egg and takes out the nucleus and puts our DNA in the nucleus. They just go and take it out.
Pay for it?
Huh?
They pay for users.
And this is part of this genetic greatness that we don't see. in any other race on the planet. These curvy, sexy black women from Africa. Negroes have a kind of a monopoly on this genetic perfection, and we want some of that. So, girls, for $100, we will pay you for your egg.
$100?
So how much do you want for it? Let's bid. I bid $500. Whatever I bid, he's gonna outbid me. $60,000 for the eggs. Yeah. If you have abortion, that's very valuable. Umbilical cord, and placenta, if your period blood is so rich with stem cells. When we regard it as waste, then it actually should be. It should be captured as recycled, and it should go to waste. It's life for somebody else, and it's life for mankind.
Okay, so we're back. So that was the video in and of itself. Okay, these demons are sitting at the table. They're talking about stem cells and what they've discovered and what they invest in. See, when these devils get money, this is what they invest in. Negroes invest in getting a new sound system. Excuse me. Negroes invest in getting a new sound system. They invest in getting houses and nonsense like that. Maybe the smarter ones might get a business. These devils invest in their genetic survival, okay, and get it any way they can get it. So let's go over the audio together, and I'm going to try to fill you in on some of these things. Now, first of all, the first person you're going to see here is, what's this devil's name? His name is Steve Powers, okay? And he's a rich investor. He's someone who works in real estate. First of all, both him and Peter Nygaard should be in prison right now because they've both been accused of running a sex trafficking ring. All right, Peter Nygaard specifically has been accused of sex trafficking. He's been accused of terminating pregnancies just so he can keep the stem cells. Okay, so of course I'm sure he's a big advocate of abortion. By the way, that's what they're really advocates of abortion. These elites, they want abortion so they can steal cells from us. That's why they always promote abortion within black communities. And he's going to talk about that towards the end of the video. But let's start with his friend here, Mr. Steve Powers. Let's see what he says.
The stem cell technology that Peter and I are investing in is called SCNT.
Okay, so he said that him and Peter have invested in a stem cell technology called SCNT. And what that stands for is somatic cell nuclear transfer. Basically, they take your cells, they take black people's cells, and they take the nucleus out of it, and then they implant their own DNA within that nucleus. Understand? He's going to explain that, but basically, that's basically destroying black people. They take our great genetics that we have, our great cells, and they implant themselves in there in order to make themselves stronger. Okay? So a lot of the science fiction you see out there, like Get Out, that's not fake. That stuff is it might seem funny, it might seem like a horror movie, but that stuff is real. Excuse me, that stuff is real. That stuff is really going on out here. Okay? So let me play the audio so you can hear what he talks about with this stem cell research.
Takes the egg of a young, perfect woman specimen, takes the egg and takes out the nucleus and puts our DNA in the nucleus. It just go ahead and take it out.
Pay for it?
Huh? And this is part of this genetic greatness that we don't see in any other race on the planet. These curvy, sexy black women from Africa.
See, now the devil, he's kind of paying a compliment, I guess, to black women. It's a compliment, but when you hear all these stories of these black women turning up dead or turning up missing, you better take it seriously and see what they're doing with these black women's body parts, their eggs, their placentas, their period blood, and everything else. All right? You better take it very serious what they might be doing to you, sisters out here. And this is why there's an uptick in promotion of this whole swirl movement, by the way. All right? That's why you have these black women going to these white men's house and turning them dead. And you have these knuckleheaded women out there thinking it's somehow white men love them. That's why they're promoting the whole swirl BS. That's not true at all. It's all about their genetic survival. You're being played out here. Divest is a great word for it because you're just dying. Okay? Let's listen some more.
Have a kind of a monopoly on this genetic perfection, and we want some of that.
Yeah, you hear me say, you guys got a monopoly on this genetic perfection, and we want some of that. Listen some more.
So, girls, for $100, we will pay you for your egg.
I pay you $100.
So how much do you want for it? Let's bid. I bid $500.
Now, see, he's being an asshole by even doing this. Okay, because he thinks, and the sad thing is, there are some women who will go along with this too. By the way, some women will hear $100 and say, "Yeah, sure, you can take all the eggs you want," not realizing that they're basically signing their death warrant by doing that and being an ally in the genetic war against black people. Okay, but listen some more what these devils have to say.
Whoever I bid, he's gonna outbid me. I bought about $60,000 of eggs. Yeah. If you have abortion, that's very valuable. Umbilical cord, placenta,
So Peter Nygaard jumps in there and says that he's bought like $60,000 worth of eggs. He's also bought placentas and umbilical cords and everything else from abortions. Okay, this is sick. This is a literal vampire sitting here talking about how he feasts and buys dead body parts from these women. Listen some more.
Your period blood is so rich with stem cells. When we regard it as waste, then it actually should be. It should be captured as recycled. And it should go to waste. It's life for somebody else. It's life for mankind.
Yeah, see, so he says it's life for somebody else. It's life for mankind. Basically, he's talking about white folks because they consider themselves mankind. They don't consider us mankind. He's not talking about black folks because if you're talking about taking away something from us, why is our humanity so much less that you think it's okay to take away from us? If you don't have it genetically, that means the classic line, God is trying to tell you something, right? If you don't have it naturally, and another group has it naturally and is thriving, no matter what you throw at them, that means God's trying to tell you something. Maybe he's trying to tell you you ain't supposed to be here. He's not telling you to take it away from somebody else, by the way. But that's how these people act, like natural predators and vultures and vampires. So you folks let me know how you feel about it in the comments section. I very much like to hear your opinions on this video. And I apologize for the coughing. I'm getting over a little bit of a cold. But leave your opinions in the comments section. And I very much like to hear what you have to say. If you want to make your own video replying to this one, you can do that as well. And I will leave a link to the actual video that I got this audio from. So anyway, thank you all for listening. And once again, this is Mad Black. And I will be back with my foot on these devils' back.